They're not going to be able to dominate them like they were dominating the Big East this year.
Richmond to Scott. And now Kadary. Richmond comes to get it. First year at St.Johns, after 3 at Seton Hall and 1 at Syracuse. Richmond takes a bump and lays it in. Jonas Adu, what a resurgence of late. The first 27 games of the year, he averaged 5 points and 4 rebounds. Last 4, 18 and 8. That was his first field goal today as Richmond lays it in. Leg Zerline, Jets kicker, one of their notable alums, but right now a 7-0 lead. St. John's was 0 for 5. They've only attempted 1 shot in the paint so far.
And look how Omaha's playing defense. They got their heels inside the three-point line. They are going to do this. And if St. John's makes threes, they're going to go home. And that's how they feel going on. He says, we do this every game. It drives us nuts, but we do this every game.
Good look. Ejiofor to Richmond. Joke that he's actually been shooting the ball better since the thumb injury in practice that he should have torn it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and he's not having his best game tonight.
Waddles misses the layup. Richmond, what a move! And Rick Pitino calls. Waddles catch and shoot 3. And the rebound to Lewis. Up ahead, Smith. Richmond joins him behind the back. Smith to Richmond.
Of hell, back in the day, the Houston Cougars, they wear on you and force you to make the mental mistakes, in particular late in the game.
Richmond inside, elevates, 11-footer. A tournament. Ashworth, another deep 3, short, batted out. Ibenayo with the rebound. Ashworth 1 of 8. Richmond gets close. Left hand, count it. Using that big.
Back to St. John's.
Richmond breaks to it. Down the lane. Pushes off. Steps through and lays it in. Green. 3 to shoot. Lets it go. Kadary Richmond with the ball. St. John's in flux. Richmond, head down to the hole. Left hand. Ashworth sets. Again, no. In and out. Loose ball. Richmond digs it out. He's got Lewis with him on the wing. Richmond drives, pushes off, up and in. Big East Championship. Ashworth. Here comes McAndrew.
One of the few passes that was not on target from Ashworth. That time, Andrew had to catch it at his ankles.
Richmond again, reverse. Kadary, take it.
And next thing you know, he's eating a nice dinner on you.
Richmond will creep into the front court with Ejiofor, Aaron Scott, Wilshire, and R.J. Lewis. Wilshire, best shooter on the team, driving. They want him to stay aggressive. 6 to shoot. Richmond inside. Nice jump stop.
Force the ball to be passed out to the three-point line. One thing you need to do is protect the paint.
Wilshire back to Richmond. Oh, the inbounder. Baseline. Lewis. Rebounded. Richmond. And 1.
East during that time period.
Jones, teardrop, short. Nice rebound. Kadary Richmond. He'll bring it up the floor with the left hand. Gets to the bucket off the glass. And
on the defensive end.
Long jump shot, long rebound. Wilshire, head up. Looking for a teammate. Lewis will take his time. And listen to this St. John's crowd. Richmond on the drive to push off and squeezed it in.
Aggressive. Moore's got to be ready to shoot that ball when he catches it.
Ejiofor just can't finish. Rebound Scott. Second chance for the Johnnies. Richmond puts the head down and gets the bucket.
Talk about getting your work.
That point instead.
He told us before the game too, Noah, that I love this group. Great kids. And my coach, Jim Calhoun's in the building. I'm not sure he's still told me that. So,
Richmond, chance for three.
See these refs now, I'm like, God, these guys are soft. They go to the video 14 times a game. Like older players are like, we didn't have the shoes you have. I wonder if referees back in the day do that today.
Richmond floats it through.
Coming off of that, kind of just sliding over. Great extension, tight rotation on that ball. And here we are, we got a game. This is the end though. Got to be active in this. Good hands there. Deflections mean a lot in tournament play.
Richmond, floater, that's ridiculous. Over the out.
Yeah, keep your tongue in your mouth. It's your MJ. It doesn't work.
Turnover. Richmond looking to run the break. It's a 10-point St. John's lead. It's a 12-point St. John's lead. Spin. Prey was there defensively. There's an open man, and it's the leading scorer, Telford. Nothing going down for Butler.
No, you can see it in their body language right now.
Oh, Richmond, now you see me, now you don't.
Patino, that's St. John's. That's the impact it has in the college basketball world.
What's the biggest mic drop for Patino? That going out onto the stage of the Tonight Show, or his halftime interview with John Fanta? That is a tool for the ages.
That won't be the last one. The guy is just wired. Like, as he said, Donnie, he's told you this several times this year. He couldn't be without basketball. He tried it for 2 years. He tried his golf game. It wasn't fun.
Ready if St. John's could steady the ship here. Jones. And a rebound. Richmond had it and eventually gets it.
Gotta be careful around Stevie Mitchell, even though he's only 6'4". He's a guy that will go to the offensive glass.
Richmond quiet so far. Maybe that'll jump. Cam Jones, third best scorer in the conference at over 18 a game. But Marquette right now, 7 turnovers. Here goes Richmond again, getting downhill and back-to-back bucket.
It's kind of the silver lining of not having Davon Smith.
And here's Kadary Richmond the other way with a two-handed. Kadary Richmond,
Good.
careening his way inside, and he follows 18 minutes ago with Golden Hedger-4 in center court. And off we go. St. John's will control. Richmond over the top, Hedger-4, double team, kicks it out. Richmond, 15-footer, yes.
That's where St.Johns. This kid's a guard. Smith, it's blocked. Arine. But St. John. Coleman, ball fake. Hop step. Missed it, but a tough move. Rebound, Lewis. Ahead, Smith. Leave it for Richmond. The penetration. The deuce, he put English on it.
He feels like they're capitalizing off the offensive glass, Ian.
And if you look at the numbers, St. John's averages 81.6 points per game at home this season. Seton Hall held them to 34, so they did that job on the defensive end.
Yeah, that's Seton Hall's game. They got to keep it down under 70.
Richmond penetrates, takes it in with a left hand.
How about the heads?
Under 8 per game. Richmond stop and go. Missed it, follows it in.
How about the strength?
Brooks in transition. Now McCaffrey a three. Butler is 1 of 5 from deep to start this game. Richmond, and that's his second bucket. Jack lays it in.
I think they need to get Ejiofor involved early because he sat out a long time with those 2 fouls.
Richmond from the free throw line, and he knocks it down. Telford the offensive board, sends it back out to Brooks for 3. That won't go, and Scott the rebound. Looked like Telford had a good look at it too.
Yeah, he did have a good look at it too, and he passed it up.
Butler with Richmond to the hoop.
So make that the 9th home sellout of the season for St. John's. Backdoor, ball batted around. Richmond grabs it and Mahaney the other way. Caravan fumbles the ball. Richmond now. Kadary crossover. Euro off the glass. The Arab drives. Double caught off balance. Davon Smith tackles the sideline, drives to the basket, dumps it down. Richmond ball fake, easy play.
It does too, because it's sometimes not how many turnovers, it's when it happens. Momentum turnover for St. John's. They dug in defensively, cracked the code, so to speak, was able to slow down UConn on that possession.
Wilshire double teamed on the wing. Richmond pulls up from 14. Got on a little
souvenir to go along with it.
Diarra checks out. Solo ball back in the game. 64-53. Ejiofor hands it off. Richmond another 14-footer and another 4. The hour we will send you there immediately upon the completion of this game. Richmond wide open. And
Johnny's jump at him. He goes to the left off glass. Nice finish.
It's a guy who was really barely in Chris Holtman's rotation until 4 games ago when Connor Enright was lost for the season with a shoulder injury. Kadary can capitalize. J.J. Traynor, it skims the rim, and there's Ibin Ayo with the rebound.
Traynor had a decent look there. Kadary Richmond wants his one-on-one matchup with Blocker.
Off glass and good in the country in rebounds per game. So good, especially on the offensive glass. Done a little bit off the mark, and Ruben Prey taps the rebound to Smith.
That was not a good shot selection by C.J. Gunn.
Richmond is bumped and fouled.
Right there by Thomas.
Richmond almost came up with the steal. He averages 2 per game. Rivera off a blocked shot. A 2-on-1 for St. Johns. And Richmond...
No call.
Richmond on the feed. That rose to knock that out of there. Here's Kadary. Richmond missed the finger roll. Drives off the glass.
You see Chris Holtman trying to urge his guys. Show some fight here. Try to cut into this deficit.
Wilshire keeps it in play. Richmond probing, shooting, and hitting.
Wow.
Current coaches with 876 coming into tonight.
And he looks like he's getting younger. I'm telling you, this group has revitalized him. He's always a sharp dresser. That suit is fitting pretty nice tonight.
St. John's pulling away, but still 4 starters on the floor. St. John's doing it without R.J. Lewis tonight. Richmond buries them.
Every coach would love a player like Jason Green because of what you saw right there. By the way, that's his officially, I'm not sure they're going to give him 2 offensive rebounds, but that was the second time he went and grabbed one around a bunch of white jerseys.
Richmond from the elbow connects.
So comfortable. How about the pass and the cut from Neal? He didn't stand in the corner. He cut. Ashford found him. What a great finish. You got to finish like that against the Johnnies. They will make you pay if you go up soft.
By the way, Davon Smith is back for St. John's today. He's waiting at the scores table. And a neck injury on Wednesday night kept him out against Nova. Richmond hits. Freshman from Montenegro.
I'm not sure if anyone understood where that came from. Zubic is known as a really good shooter, but
Richmond from one in Tuscaloosa.
Man, the thing that stinks about that is you won't be able to see him much longer at this level.
8-1 scoring run for Creighton to get some control back. Richmond attacking and hitting. A skip pass back to Neal. Down to 5. And Neal just lost it. 10th Creighton turnover. This gets the pace a little bit up, and Richmond cashes in. Has just been draped on Neal. Neal attacks anyways. The Scots there, same team, says Ejiofor with the rebound. Richmond, elbow.
Right now, Kadary
King, who's now inserted into action, got his own miss. Couldn't stick it back. Creighton hasn't scored in close to 6 minutes. Richmond, the left-handed finish.
Here's the guy that can get going. Lewis having a great year.
Kadary Richmond tries and connects, and there's that mid-range.
So much about.
Look, this Villanova team took down a then top 10 UConn team in this building. They've shown some flashes.
Yeah, they're dangerous, no question about it. Looking for consistency within the game as well. This guy's got to get going. Nice show.
With 8, it's Lewis. Finding Richmond. Richmond pull-up. Automatic.
Pretty. 15 feet in, both rebounding.
Ejiofor back in. They're big right now.
Yeah, Praise done a good job on that end.
Here's Richmond.
That's his game. That's his game.
That is filthy.
Yeah, that is New York.
The Big East. They have just 4. Villanova has 14.
Numbers. It's crazy how it is. It turns out the game has a different personality. Now they lock low Ejiofor. Nice pass and a back cut.
And there's the attack to the rim.
Keeps the D and 5. Great preparation.
Loud in here again. This is vintage Finneran Pavilion.
Ejiofor really ducked in. They didn't get it to him. Karachi doing a great job circling.
Richmond with 5. Takes a dribble and connects.
That's his game. Coaches back in their spots. A little warning.
So a fresh 20 here for the Red Storm.
Nice follow here. Better defense.
Richmond, tough pull-up.
Unbelievable.
Drilled it. So Richmond.
You got to keep him out of the lane. Looks like they're going to do a little matchup here. He can take Dixon, I think, and find somebody.
Go Wilcher. Off to Scott, who's had the big night. With 12, it's Richmond.
He's going to go.
Ejiofor went down. Richmond does go and 1. It's Cook's time.
Lewis with the rebound. Lewis backs it up, guarded by Reed. That's a mismatch. Richmond guarded by Diarra. Mismatch. Pull up Jay. Count it. Richmond. Ejiofor. Scott. Wilshire. Richmond. Got a step and banks it down.
That's where he throws the pass.
I remember my baseball coach in college used to say, that ball will find you if you don't want it. Richmond. Pull up. Got it again. How about the job?
Behind the three-point line.
Ball with a quick 13 points early. He's now 5 of 12 though. Ejiofor. Richmond. Richmond, top of the key. Crossover dribble. In and out dribble. Double pump. Off the glass. And in.
Always there. And the rotation.
That's short. And a rebound down to the ground. Taken away by Ejiofor.
Everybody hustling.
Richmond.
That's his game.
He lives there.
He owns.
Jones.
Yeah, not a 3-point short.
Jones will.
They're not getting good shots at all.
Boy, if you like defense in college basketball, this is a game for you. Richmond, that's nasty. Dropped it in. 3-point shooter last year at 40%. He's hovering around 30 this year, but an increase could certainly help this team.
Coming down the stretch, no question about it. Little pin down for Kadary. Got to keep him out of the blue.
Step inside two.
How about that?
Smith turns it wide. Scott in the corner.
He's had 2 good looks. They do chase it, though, almost like Kelvin Sampson and used it.
That's a great comparison. 8 offensive rebounds for St. Johns.
Nice pass.
Back cut Richmond, 4-2.
And Lewis does it.
Oh, defensively.
Look at Mitchell from behind.
Lewis wanted the contact. Volleyball on the rim. Knocked to Richmond, and that was going to be a run out for Marquette if they cleared it. Offensive glass.
Look at the defense. Unfortunately, better offense. Winning will get you over, by the way.
That is very true. Lewis trying to ward off.
Oh, look at that
Richmond got to the spot.
That's strength. You're right.
Another.
Oh, what a find. That's how you get going if you're Cam Jones. Boy, he is a confident stroker. Parham is impressive, though, isn't he?
He is. Richmond is too. Just bowling in the two. We'll spin to the left. He got there. 6 now for Jones. He's been in foul trouble truly all night.
That is to play the left and run.
Richmond, you could have given a foul on goal too.
At St. John's, they feed off that stuff. Their defensive rebound, their defensive stats in the Big East are better than their non-conference stats. Usually you don't see that.
Richmond jumper is good.
Transition to get something easier.
Smith on the attack, can't finish. Richmond the tip-in. Turnovers are fewer today. I don't think that's going to happen, as Providence already has 9 in the first 15 minutes.
You know what? It's not going to happen, but the big thing, Andrew, is that St. John's has 4 steals and have not gotten a lot in transition off those turnovers.
Richmond for 3. It's good! Rich Barron, the sophomore from Chicago, puts the Friars up by 3.
Take a look at this defense. There is nobody outside. They got their heat. Look, they're playing inside the 3-point line. It looks like a zone. Matter of fact, it is. They don't play much zone, but they're playing zone now.
Richmond shoots. In transition, he's got great speed, but good defense by St. Johns. Scott all over him. Joseph misses. Rebound, Ejiofor. Richmond with 10 in the first half, and now he's got a dozen. Kadary Richmond brings the ball up the floor. Over the last 2 games, Richmond is 11 of 14 from the floor.
Yeah, last time we were here when they played Villanova, Rick told us that he watched every tape. That's a good shot, too.
It's hard to figure this Providence team without Hopkins now. I mean, that's
top 5 player in the league. And Kim English losing last year after like 8 or 9 games, and now this year only 3 games. That's a tough blow for Providence.
Richmond. Pierre, his first triple of the day. Ejiofor setting the screen for Smith. Richmond, another 3! Culture left alone. Smith, the follow not there, tipped around. And the loose ball scooped up by the Friars. Richmond rips it away and scores with the foul! Timeout, neither team has a foul to give. Final 25 seconds.
Yeah, they just want to run this down to probably 6 to give them time for an offensive rebound.
Kadary Richmond, who's had a big day, 22 points. With 8 seconds left. Now he's going to go. Richmond fighting through Pierre. Richmond from the free throw line. Good! Good!
You know what? I can't say that is mine. I've heard that before.
Richmond, Kadary Richmond. And that's another stop with an offensive rebound. Malik Mack.
Boy, he's the last 2 games, John, 16% from 3. He's got to get it going for them.
Richmond has it going.
Man, forget it. You got to have it and just keep playing.
Richmond with a dime to Ejiofor. Shot clock at 10. Richmond's there again. Kadary Richmond is scalding.
You know, at Creighton that's going to be Creighton is pretty darn good at home as well.
Sure are. That'll be on FS1 tomorrow night. Rick Pitino calling a quick timeout.
Got to talk here. Got to be active with your hands. Some deflections would be good if you're Georgetown. Boy.
Richmond on another level.
By St. John's, and 4 red jerseys in the paint to rebound. In transition. Talk about attention to detail.
Richmond with confidence. Kadary.
Less care put into Coach Thompson's.
Sorber in a scramble here and a tie-up. Prey comes down with it. And St. John's has reestablished their control on this game. Kadary Richmond has been terrific.
Hughley in the game. Big boy in for Zach Fremantle. They expect a lot from him. He's going to play extended minutes for Sean Miller's guys.
R.J. Lewis back in the lineup for St. John's. Here's Wiltshire looking for room. Draws the crowd. Kadary down low. Power guard gets it to go.
Happens as players when you make your first couple and you don't touch it for a while.
Kadary down low. Missed a tip. Well, their shot chart under the basket's going to be ugly. They convert.
Another offensive.
But Xavier gets it back.
Heads up play by Jerome Hunter there to keep that ball alive.
Hughley pounding his way in. Turns, loses it to Kadary Richmond.
Tell you what, Kadary Richmond could be the best player on the floor every single possession if he wants to be.
Kadary trying to take his man. He got a good shot, and it goes.
Can get it going.
Kadary trying to take it over. Set up for Lewis and a 3-ball in and out. Fremantle kept it alive. Loose ball edge it for. Here's Lewis. 4:22 to go here in the first half. 10 on the shot clock. Where's they gonna get the ball to?
McKnight has Prey on him, or Prey has McKnight on him.
Kadary Richmond. Wow, what a friendly rim that. And Xavier, 4-4, as they say in the old Billboard days. 4-4 with a bullet climbing up the charts. Kadary, to your point. And Hunter for Xavier. 3-ball will tie it. Edge for he had his position.
He is working down there.
Kadary.
Kadary forced to kind of do it themselves, and that's not what they did in the first half. They shared the ball. Still, they have 19 assists on 21 field goals, so they're right there, Xavier. They just have to clean some things up.
Richmond muscles his way in. Figueroa, we got it! First, coming up with 1 minute to go here at Madison Square Garden. Good to have you with us here. Big East basketball on Fox, and Kadary Richmond ties it.
Or the fact that this game started almost 2.5 hours ago, and guys have been doing everything, and sometimes your legs go.
And that needle's moving close to E. Kadary Richmond. Oh my goodness.
Wiltshire. And again, so quick to the ball, getting those long rebounds. R.J. Lewis, dynamite at that. Here's Richmond doing what Kadary always does. The Hall, it's now 7-1. Weldon is a sophomore coming out to show against Kadary Richmond. They're trying to pack it in, but Richmond says no problem. Finally into the scoring column. By the way, Richmond got that foul, and it was his third. Just keep an eye on Scott.
Yes.
Richmond with a jump stop and a deuce. At 6 lead to 18 or 17. Felton. Not to be this time, and Lewis corrals it. Well, Rick got that timeout because he was unhappy with his defense in the low post. And a nice little pull up there.
Started my career 16 years ago. And, man, he's the absolute best. When I told you the other day when I saw that email coming in from Kenny Klein, I thought it was a joke.
Yeah. Kadary, that is textbook. Kadary.
A quarter zone shot. They're hopeful maybe Saturday night at Seton Hall he could return. Could have been much worse, but he is out. Richmond attacks. Richmond, count it.
4-20. That's an easy one, a shove the back by Fielder.
And Ejiofor, the best rebounder in the Big East in the second half of games with over 5 caroms per game in the final 20. It's Richmond, got it. 6 minutes to start the second half. An eternity to still tell in this game. Peavy, it spins out. Close to a 3-minute scoring drought for Georgetown. Richmond gliding in. He's stuck with the play. And Kadary. That moment between Thompson and Carnesecca.
Two greats. I'm fortunate. Obviously, I played against a Hall of Fame coach. But to be able to, or played for a Hall of Fame coach, to be able to play against those two is just an
game. Each team with one timeout. St. Johns has the possession arrow.
Yeah, I think you have to speed this up a little if you're Georgetown. Show a different look. Maybe extend that zone if you don't want to come completely out of it.
Wilcher to Richmond. Kadary Richmond, the Brooklyn kid. Richmond drives with the right hand.
That's deep. And good. He's not a bad three-point shooter either. 51% for the season. Pretty good.
Deep three there. And Villanova regains the lead 3 minutes in here at Madison Square Garden.
$12 points per game, Andrew.
Bringing that experience back home. He's a Philadelphia native now in his first year at Villanova as Richmond gets it to go in the foul.
And that's he hit 11 early.
Wilcher for three. Ejiofor the offensive rebound. Richmond does not take that shot. He'll take this one and make it.
What a great move. You know,
Fremantle, such a low, down low offensively.
Yeah, they've created a switch down there. It's a really nice job by Xavier finding the mismatch on the interior. And Fremantle's so good when he catches that basketball on the post.
16 off the bench, 7 rebounds and loss against Georgetown. Up and under, and the shot goes for Kadary. Skying for the rebound, having it taken away. R.J. Lewis. And you see some serious hops from Davon Smith.
44-inch vertical.
Pitino said maybe Spud Webb's the only other guy he's seen jump that high. Richmond.
Really successful. I thought he should have been at the foul line shooting 2 free throws. Thought he was in the shooting motion.
Handoff now. Richmond trying to get downhill. Richmond penetrates, hangs and hits off the glass.
They combine that with 4 guys on the floor at any time who can take you off the dribble. And you talk about balance to your offensive attack. Man, that is a nightmare for teams in the Big East.
Richmond just went close to
a little mental confidence the next time you're down. And maybe you'll be able to knock down 3. Because we talked about it earlier. There's no way Xavier can win this game without Conwell having a big night and without Fremantle getting involved in this offense.
Richmond all the way to the basket. He's done.
Offensively, everything really starts with Telford. They play through him.
And Brooks running, hook, screen, tried to follow. No good. Kadary Richmond, boy, he is a powerful guard. Came over from Seton Hall, and prior to that, he was with Syracuse, and he takes one in from the left side.
Yeah. And to your point, you can see the confidence starting to really burst through here for the Butler Ball Club with the 5:20 mark coming up. Here's Kadary Richmond. And he knocks one down. St. Johns
saw an open lane and just went straight down the lane with a nice cut. Smith lost sight of him, man. Butler with the easy one.
Kadary Richmond with a line drop
out. And they let him play as edge before he got knocked off the ball. Stolen by Richmond. Richmond to the glass. Put it up and in.
But when they get the ball down low in the paint, they've had some success. St. John's had. I think St. John's is going to try to get the ball to Ejiofor here.
1 for 21 from 3-point range. That would seem to be the play. Getting into the big man. We're in the low box. Richmond. Nice crossover dribble. That's his game.
Yep. Those threes, so it'll be interesting to see how many more opportunities Zuby Ejiofor has.
Zach Braziller of the New York Post wrote about this past week. He said you could look at the 11-2 start for St. John's one of 2 ways. You could say, well, they're not a great perimeter shooting team, or you could say law of averages will eventually correct. As
he's 6'10", but he's a three-point shooter. It's what he does. Richmond did a pretty good job at least making him shot fake one time.
And Creighton's first 3, it took 10 minutes to get there.
So you got to be pleased with that if you're Rick Pitino. How many times did he talk about that at shoot-around today, making them not a three-point shooting team?
Kadary Richmond is
style has a cumulative effect on you. The pressure on the ball and the offensive rebounding over the course of 40 minutes, it just wears into you.
Richmond from the free throw line rises and connects. Kadary.
Attack Ejiofor with 4 personal fouls. Don't let him off the hook. Good play from Kalkbrenner.
16 for the big man. He's 6 shy of 2,000. Ejiofor. Richmond with 10. Richmond attacks with the left hand and one.
Following up the missed layup, and starts on the defensive end with a nice trap by Wilcher, forcing the turnover.
Back door left open for Richmond from Lewis.
Prey on him. Prey was worried about him shooting the 3, so he took advantage of that, uses shot fake to get to the paint.
Richmond hits it home. Kadary Rich in the second half of games. They outscored their competition by a Big East best 11 points per second half. Richmond off the steal. Kadary Richmond.
Again, Smith.
Where do you think St. John's, of course, we have them as a 9 seed on bracket forecast, but what determines where they finish in the Big East as Richmond hits?
Time to get that continuity, that understanding, that relationship with the players, even more so now with the era of portal transfers and NIL.
And a lead guard. He's a scoring guard, first and foremost. Not a prolific point. There's a runaway train called Richmond.
One that he's left-handed, but the other part of his game is he knows how to probe. Great body control once he gets into the paint, as you saw there.
I always liked you because you like left-handers. Off the dribble, Richmond. Milan finds a little avenue, and it's rejected. He ran right into a roadblock, and it was knocked away by Richmond. Number 17, Ruben Prey, into the game for the first time. Well, like a lot of guys, too, there's the inbounds lob to the big fella, and he's slapped out of there by Lewis.
Got to be strong with it.
Floyd, though, like so many other players that are scorers, plays a lot better on this end when he's hot on the other end.
Yeah.
Richmond to pull up, and that's that in-between game. Drip, they're making a move on you. Up against the clock. That's as easy a bucket as Barnett's going to have, and he missed the bunny.
Yeah, and he's done a nice job the second half of getting downhill, too. Oh, look at that. Big facilitator, but you can't leave him alone either. Again, the spacing is so wonderful from DePaul. They don't get in each other's way.
Ejiofor leaving. Smith nearly lost his feet. And he's going to stay down just enough to keep this possession alive. Richmond off the screen. Richmond pull-up pop is money.
Walker's one of those guys. Again, if you had a guy that could get you something off schedule, if you will, he's that guy for DePaul.
And then the help defense. Oh, perfect plays at the right time. Kadary.
You saw that, just a bolt down the lane.
Walker trying to stay with Richmond. Push it up and in.
That's a sweet spot, Noah. Right now, they're just a little out of sorts, and again, it's because of that defense.
D'Amico thought he got hit. Richmond may have gotten a piece. Now on the leak out, perfect pass, an easy bucket. Tabs coming off a 23-point performance. He scored double figures in 24 straight games dating back to last year in his freshman season with Coastal Carolina. Smith got caught in the paint. Richmond on the pull-up pop, and he gets the roll. Rise advantage, bounce it inside instead. Richmond can't finish, got his own miss, and he's fouled with a chance for 3.
Great play coming off the bench as he had as a starter. Tells you a little bit about this young man's character. Just put me out there, I want to play. I want to be on the floor no matter when it is.
Richmond snakes through for 2.
And that's what Smith did there.
Evans pull up from 17. A little too strong. Easy carom for Richmond to collect.
Yeah, tough shot. Again, you want players to be individuals, but move that ball around a little bit. You see that shot at But Mitchell flying to the rim, and that's what I'm saying. The penetration of the Bulldogs is hurting St. John's. They got to do a better job of keeping these guys out of the lane.
Barry Evans already with 3 assists.
Never had a broken nose, but I know when my nose hurts, it doesn't feel good. So the chance of someone being able to hit it is not something that he wants to risk. But they're just, I mean, St. John's just looks off kilter here. So every pass is challenged, it's an adventure.
And Richmond, that veteran lap, Prey both returning now. Scott, Smith take a seat for the Red Storm. And everything's gone dry here after that phenomenal beginning for Bryant shooting-wise here in the half. Just 1 of 4 from the stripe in this half as well. Missed all 3 of their attempts from beyond the arc.
If I'm St. John's, just be patient, run clock, and then pound it inside.
And they'll go again.
Villanova. And the unique thing about Brendan Hawson is his shot is beautiful. We know that. But he will do other things as well.
Options that some of them get lost. You take Kadary Richmond, for example, just 2 points so far. He's an All Big East player last year at Seton Hall. Here is Richmond. The nearby Brooklyn kid grew up playing in the parks of Brooklyn, and he gets 2 right there.
They ran something, though. If Doug McDaniel is making threes over Ejiofor, you can live with that. From 4 feet behind the three-point line.
Yeah, sometimes good offense beats good defense.
That's it.
Here's Ejiofor. This time dishing to Richmond.
Grabbing at that, so now you come down. You got to know your time and the place for those type of plays.
Richmond.
And one.
Yep. Counted the foul on Hawk.
It's not like, yeah, we talked about the Baylor, the double overtime. They gave up a huge lead in the first half, but I mean, this team can scare you and is scary to play in so many ways.
They beat the press and get another jam.
Play your games with the Garden. Oh, I've been to the Garden many times. I've never been in Carnesecca Arena until we came in today for a walkthrough, which was actually a practice.
Oh, welcome. And welcome to all of you watching. St. John's begins with it. 1 and 2 trips to Bahamas, 6 days of practice, and with the left hand, Richmond.
Yep. Reach layup with the right hand. There's R.J. Lewis again. Plastic man. He's longer than I thought when you watch him play inside.
Catch and shoot. Richmond fakes, now fires, and drills it from the elbow.
That's his shot.
But he plays bigger, doesn't he?
Well, he's got a chance to get fouled. Yeah.
This is the 3.
You got to feed him. You got to feed him inside. They missed opportunities. The 3's okay, but right now he's scoring inside. Put pressure on the defense with a foul.
Pick and roll. Richmond will take it and gets the bounce.
They're coming at you to get steals and deflections.
Off the miss. Red Storm running. Richmond, eyes up to the basket. Layup's good.
He's so good in the paint, and he plays with it.
Elected not to suspend him, put that decision in the hands of the players and the captains, who we have not seen him yet here tonight.
Well, I've known Davon Smith since he was a sophomore in high school. I absolutely love him, and he knows better. Whatever happened shouldn't have happened, and even with him being available, great play off the ball like that. It sometimes takes a full year for somebody to be mentally back and in the right kind of rhythm. They may be physically back, but mentally back's another story.
Oh, Richmond just smooth. The last basket. Speeds, circles, and finds Pichet for 3. And that's cleaned up by Ejiofor.
Again, great vision, great kick out. Right guy taking the shot. Just didn't go.
Tom St. John's 1 of 11 from 3 this half. So you go to the basket in Richmond.
And then they want to get 2 to 3 on that offensive glass to get the putback or the foul.
Les Moen, the 4th Harvard player in double figures. Wiltshire trapped. Dunlap working around Richmond. Active zone with 13 to shoot. The crossover. Richmond jump stop. Layup. He wraps it in. Beautiful.
Easy to spot white uniform. And he will take a seat here. Good to have you with us. Got another college basketball game coming up featuring another ranked team, number 24 Rutgers at Kennesaw State. Up next at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Shot clock under 10. Nice crossover from Richmond.
It goes baseline. Ames lines up a three. Buchanan has the second chance, and it rolls off. That was an area where Virginia was dominated by Tennessee last night. Richmond, Saunders, coast to coast, rejected by Lewis. There comes Smith. Alley-oop to Richmond, the right hand.
Here we were talking about T-shirts. The St. John's team yesterday was wearing a T-shirt in warm-ups. Had the big PhD on the front, and down below, passion, humility, and desire, I think, was the third one.
That's the type of PhD I want.
Yeah.
Richmond, late in the clock, puts the dribble behind his back and scores over the top of
Kyle Guy has given you now that he's on staff. And Isaac said, there's not many bad shots for you to take, Isaac. You have the ultimate green light.
Kyle Guy, not only an important piece in what's been a big transition period for Virginia with the retirement of Tony Bennett, but he serves as valuable of a practice player that you could hope for on a college basketball team.
Yeah, he was the best player by far on the practice team the other day when they were warming up here.
Kadary Richmond rolls up a quick foul. That's now 4 on Virginia for 7 minutes of this second half. Ibn Ayo back on the floor for St. John's. Johnnies have one more game in the Bahamas. They'll square off with Georgia Sunday as Richmond knocked Duke transfer, who appeared in 26 games on that Blue Devil team that was ousted in the Elite Eight last season.
Because right now, Virginia's having a hard time keeping the Johnnies in front of them one-on-one. That shot kind of helps relax you. Robert Wright, the freshman, 1'6'1", 180 from Wilmington, Delaware.
A nice scoring punch off the bench for Sky Drew. He scored in double figures all 4 games to open his college career. Baylor knocked down 15 trays last time against Tarleton. Kadary. Now these guys know how to put on some big-time ballroom hoops. Iwuchukwu couldn't get it this time, but the put pops out. Missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Ejiofor clears. St. John's can tie with a 2. Take a late lead with a 3. It's Richmond operating downhill. Teardrop. It's good. Tenure from the Bahamas. Good chance you'll see him as a lottery pick next year in the NBA draft.
Bears just showing a little token full court pressure.
Richmond with a step, and he scores off the rebound for Richmond. Richmond just 5 combined points his last 2 games. He starts strong here. Smith looking for Richmond. This is the other thing that Kadary Richmond can do.
Yep, post up.
That's New York City basketball.
Yeah, and that's basketball. Make it pay off at the offensive end.
Lewis, and the tip back is good.
Yeah,
just weaving his way.
Yeah, just barely kept the left foot on the floor just then, too. Good effort by Nolan. He's their super sub, so he's to get it going here starting the second half.
Whoa. Ejiofor hung on to the ball to Richmond. Kadary Richmond, it's like time stops when he leaves. Offensive rebound, though. Unsealed tries again. This long, and Lewis with the board now trying to run. To Richmond, look out! Richmond with hammer time. And he couldn't hit the front end. There's the free throw battle. Big man makes both. It's a 7-point game. You're potentially looking at a 4 or 5 point swing. And the Lobos get a stop. Down to 10 again. They've gone deep into the timer, back-to-back trips.
That's to drive it.
Richmond got the lane with the left hand.
Pretty adjustment, but you have to understand.
All right, what's your thought here?
Well, New Mexico's in a spot where you don't want to foul yet, but you want to take every chance you can to try to come up with a steal, a deflection, a double team.
Smith. Ross is the timeline.
Yeah, so you see the little close there, little double teams out front. You just kind of play erratic, heady defense, taking your gambles, and hope you get a stop.
Shot clock at 10. Kadary, Richmond. Dagger. And one.
And where did they end it up?
Green with 3. R.J. Green. Wild shot. Nice contest there from Wiltshire.
The Johnnies with very, very tough ball pressure. Again, Wagner at the end of the shot clock, getting the shot contested tough.
Kadary Richmond. Men's work.
Release 3 from the top of the key, and he ties the game.
That's a good sign for Fordham. The upperclassman Richardson, one of the better three-point shooters, experienced 6'3" junior, was second in the team in scoring last year. Gives him some spacing and some shooting from the perimeter.
This Fordham program won 25 games just a couple of years ago. They have a puncher's chance, no doubt, here tonight. As right now, and Fordham is with him too.
Well, he's now in the rhythm, and I think if you're St. John's, you got to make an adjustment, particularly in the ball screen, and step up and blitz him a little harder.
They go right back to Richmond. Richardson attacking Scott. Richardson fades, comes up empty, and the rebound for Iwajuku.
Great defense by Scott. And he's very hard to go by with his length and his ability to move his feet.
Here's Richmond.
That's Richmond. Well, last week, Aaron Scott never makes a mistake defensively. He's always in the right place. He understands how to move, how to close out, and his length is 6'8" is a problem for offensive players.
We'll see him show up in the stat sheet, the block column as well. Richmond, that's a smooth fit. Preseason, when he gets going, he's the best pure shooter on the team.
Got a lot of talent, and he's still growing. Just a sophomore.
From Plainfield, New Jersey. St. John's trying to extend their 12-point lead. Richmond, tough take down the lane.
You saw the
roster that led the Big East in bench points. And all these reserves taking a step, and then you add Richmond to the mix, and all the tools we can bring them back. And we have name recognition, star power at the top of this league.
Yeah, it's a better product, and you have more continuity with players that you love to watch. As Kadary Richmond being